This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away in February 2003 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Lana Clarkson. She was born in April 1962 and she died in February 2003. Her age was 40 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was homicide. Lana Clarkson was an American actress and fashion model. During the 1980s, she rose to prominence in several sword and sorcery films. In 2003, record producer Phil Spector shot and killed Clarkson inside his home. He was charged with second-degree murder and convicted in 2009. Julie Mitchum. She was born in July 1914 and she died in February 2003. Her age was 88 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Julie Mitchum was an American actress and singer, and the sister of actor Robert Mitchum. She appeared in several films during the 1950s. She also had an uncredited bit part as a slave in The Ten Commandments, as well as The High and the Mighty with John Wayne. Fred Rogers. He was born in March 1928 and he died in February 2003. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stomach cancer. Fred Rogers was an American television personality, musician, and minister, best known for creating and hosting the educational preschool television series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Kurt Hanik. He was born in March 1958 and he died in February 2003. His age was 44 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was acute cocaine intoxication. Kurt Hanik was an American professional wrestler, considered one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time by peers, critics, and fans. He performed under his real name for promotions including the American Wrestling Association, the World Wrestling Federation, the World Championship Wrestling, and NWA Total Nonstop Action. Lou Harrison. He was born in May 1917 and he died in February 2003. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Lou Harrison was an American composer known for integrating non-Western musical traditions into his compositions, pioneering the use of alternative tunings and instruments. Eleanor Sis Daly. She was born in March 1907 and she died in February 2003. Her age was 95 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was stroke. Eleanor Sis Daly was the matriarch of a prominent political family in Chicago, known for her influences and support during her husband's and son's mayoral tenures. Daly served as the First Lady of the City of Chicago from her husband's appointment in April 1955 until his death in December 1976, and First Mother from April 1989 until her death in February 2003. Ron Ziggler. He was born in May 1939 and he died in February 2003. His age was 63 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Ron Ziggler was the youngest White House press secretary, serving during the Nixon administration and the Watergate scandal. Howie Epstein. He was born in July 1955 and he died in February 2003. His age was 47 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was drug overdose. Howie Epstein was the bassist for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, contributing to the band's success in the 1980s and 1990s. Johnny Paycheck. He was born in May 1938 and he died in February 2003. His age was 64 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was emphysema and asthma. Johnny Paycheck was an American country music singer and Grand Ole Opry member, notable for recording the David Allan Coe song "Take This Job and Shove It." He achieved his greatest success in the 1970s as a force in country's music outlaw movement. Orville Freeman. He was born in May 1918 and he died in February 2003. His age was 84 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was complications from Alzheimer's disease. Orville Freeman was an American politician who served as the 29th governor of Minnesota from 1953 to 1961 and as United States Secretary of Agriculture from 1961 to 1969 under President John F. Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson. He was one of the founding members of the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party and influential in the merger of the Minnesota Democratic and Farmer Labor parties. Freeman nominated Kennedy for president at the 1960 Democratic National Convention. Michael P. Anderson. He was born in December 1959 and he died in February 2003. His age was 43 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. Michael P. Anderson was a physicist and United States Air Force officer who served as a mission specialist on the ill-fated STS-107 mission. He was one of the 7 astronauts who perished when the Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated during re-entry. David M. Brown. He was born in April 1956 and he died in February 2003. His age was 46 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. David M. Brown was a United States Navy captain and flight surgeon who became a NASA astronaut. He died on his first space flight during the Columbia disaster. Kalpana Chavan. She was born in March 1962 and she died in February 2003. Her age was 40 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. Kalpana Chavan was the first Indian-born woman in space, serving as a mission specialist on 2 shuttle missions. She tragically died during the Columbia disaster. Laurel Clark. She was born in March 1961 and she died in February 2003. Her age was 41 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. Laurel Clark was a United States Navy flight surgeon and NASA astronaut who perished during her first space flight aboard Columbia. Rick Husband. He was born in July 1957 and he died in February 2003. His age was 45 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. Rick Husband was a commander of the STS-107 mission and a veteran of 2 space flights. He died when Columbia disintegrated during re-entry. William McCau. He was born in September 1961 and he died in February 2003. His age was 41 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. William McCau was the pilot of the STS-107 mission and a United States Navy commander. He lost his life in the Columbia disaster. Elan Rammon. He was born in June 1954 and he died in February 2003. His age was 48 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. Elan Rammon was the first Israeli astronaut serving as a payload specialist on STS-107. He died during the Columbia disaster. Edgar D'Avia. He was born in July 1910 and he died in February 2003. His age was 92 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pneumonia after hip fracture. Edgar D'Avia was a Mexican-born American interiors photographer in a career that spanned the 1940s through the 1990s. His photography appeared in magazines and newspapers such as House and Garden, Look, and the New York Times Magazine, and advertising campaigns for the Borden ice cream and Jelly-O. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.